Rainbow Push, which is Reverend Jesse Jackson's national organization. And again, just to echo the comments of my brothers and sisters, there's nothing new to say, but we stand in solidarity with the Islamic community. We stand in solidarity with the family of Imam Luqman. And we stand to simply say that this is not a case that we are going to let grow deaf or silent, but the faith-based community, that's right, the Christian brothers and sisters are standing with our Islamic brothers and sisters to say that we will continue to fight for transparency and accountability. Who polices the police? Who watches over the government? Who makes sure that our rights are protected? We are here to say that we are those people, and our communities are coming together to work together so that we can discover the truth. I'll close with this. We must remember there is not just a religious leader involved here. Imam Luqman was a father. He was a husband. And so we must be concerned about the family and the children. They need to know, they deserve to know what really happened on that fateful day when their father and their husband was killed. We want transparency, and we stand together with our brothers and sisters to fight this fight until the end. Thank you.
Well, I just have a short statement on behalf of the Detroit Coalition Against Police Brutality. As was mentioned, I'm a member of the National Board of Directors of the Detroit, Michigan National Lawyers Guild Board. But we, for a long period of time, as you know, have been fighting to watch the police in what they do. We've cautioned against the militarization of the police. We've talked about the multi-jurisdictional task forces. And essentially everything that has been said over the years happened in that warehouse. A group of military individuals, or militarized individuals, through what we now know as in the case of Ayanna Jones, a percussion grenade, incendiary device, in addition to the shooting, and essentially not only killed Imam Luqman, but you have numerous other people who are awaiting trial right now as a result of it. And then on the same day, as we go into Ramadan and we join with our Muslim brothers and sisters in relationship to this, here we have individuals who were in prayer, who were assaulted. Assault weapons came in with them kneeling down. Now, the situation is too gory to even think about in terms of both the killing and the disrespect under the First Amendment of the ability of individuals to engage in prayer and peace. So we have always, as the coalition, called for transparency and will continue to push vigorously for it. And we met with Eric Holder, and Imam Daoud can tell you, they assured us that they were going to look into this. And so the litigation that's pursuant today to that just speaks to the fact that we've had a number of agencies who have not been transparent and who have not followed their own dictates under the law.
Before we open up for questions, I also have one other thing that I neglected to say that's very important. It's very important is that Representative Congressman John Conyers, the Council on American Islamic Relations, the NAACP, and several other civil rights and religious organizations wrote Eric Holder not only asking for a civil rights investigation into the killing of Imam Luqman, but also raised a larger issue asking Attorney General Holder to review the FBI protocols and standards of sending confidential informants and agent provocateurs into houses of worship. In regards to the Justice Department looking to Imam Luqman's shooting, we'd also like for them to look into the practice and protocols of the usage of informants that set the environment for Imam Luqman's death. And I think it's very symbolic, especially with Mr. Michael Gracier, who heads up the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, which Dr. King led for so many years. We know what the FBI did as far as the infiltration of civil rights, religious institutions, and churches during the civil rights movement. And we know that right now, any other community in America, that the FBI has been given unprecedented powers as far as surveillance, and this primary surveillance is targeting the American Muslim community and our mosques. So within this context, we again reiterate the need for a broader look in terms of the usage of confidential informants and agent provocateurs that are being sent into religious institutions. Because if it's just, we should not trick ourselves and think that the civil rights violations are just simply isolated to American Muslims. If the rights of American Muslims are violated, it is a potential violation or open up the door for trespassing on the civil rights of all Americans, irrespective of religion or ethnicity. With that, we will avail ourselves of questions. Yeah, Alex.
Hi.
Yes.
So are you alleging that there could be a cover-up going on here? I mean, because you've been trying to get these documents without having to get a lawsuit, but from what you're saying, they've been withheld. So are you concerned that there could be a cover-up going on?
It is our organizational position that there has been systematic suppression of public information, period.
And what are some of the documents or the public records that you're actually requesting that will help you determine what happened here?
A series of documents were sent to the various entities that were involved in the multi-jurisdictional task force raids that took place that resulted in the shooting of the imam, as well as the raid that took place later that night of Masjid al-Haq. The documents that we're requesting are, the purpose of the documents that we're requesting is to shed light on the exact circumstances of each of these two incidents, to determine more information about what exactly took place at the warehouse, what took place leading up to the warehouse, and what took place at the mosque itself during the full-blown raid. We're trying to determine the extent of the involvement of each of the entities, what exactly took place, the officers that were involved in the raids, etc., etc. So there's a series of requests that have been made, and these are the things that we will be litigating.
But could you be more specific about exactly what documents you're requesting? Are you looking at one calls? Are you looking at warrants? What exactly?
I have our office has requested arrest warrants, names of officers that were involved, a detail of the actual death scene at the warehouse, as well as any tests that were conducted, ballistics reports, that sort of thing, as well as the entities that were involved in the mosque raid. At this point, it's unclear which entities were involved, although we do have video surveillance or video footage taken by Fox 2 that shows that Detroit police was definitely involved in the mosque raid. But we are trying to determine the extent of involvement of each of the agencies.
So that would also include evidence technician reports, police reports, investigators reports, witness statements, anything and everything that will shed light and basically open the door to allowing the community to learn what the truth really was and allow
None
us
of that
to,
has been released to you.
not directly to CAIR. No.
Let me also make a very important point of one very key piece of information that we believe the public has a right to. And this is that in our initial Freedom of Information Act request, we requested potential video surveillance footage in the warehouse because we know the standard operating procedure of the FBI when they conduct a sting operation, especially when they invest hundreds of thousands of dollars and spend 2 years of investigations, that there's video surveillance footage at the warehouse. We requested this. Through our one specific FOIA request that was sent to the Attorney General's office, we received a denial from this response, and it said that they were not going to release to us this video surveillance footage because it was part of an ongoing investigation. Therefore, through their denial, they affirmed to us what we thought anyway, was that there is video surveillance footage in that warehouse. I say to law enforcement, and especially to the Federal Bureau of Investigations, if they feel that they have nothing to hide, if they're saying the imam was this boogeyman, release the footage to the media. It will show exactly what would happen. If the imam was pointing a gun at the law enforcement and he starts shooting at human beings, and they put the dogs on him then and then shot him, then we will have clarity in this matter if that was indeed the case. But if that was not the case, if the imam was not brandishing a firearm, if he was in the